Just how accurate is the Tesla nav when you're going on a road trip? Well, we're about to go on a road trip, funny enough, so let's find out together. So why am I even doing a video like this? Of course the nav is absolutely 100% accurate, right? Right? I don't know. Last July, around the time of the Tesla takeover, we noticed some funkiness, both on our Model 3 and our Model Y, where the estimates were wildly different than real world. And we got to thinking, well, was it a recent software update? What was going on? Was it just the way we were driving? Was it just us? And it turns out other YouTubers were noticing the same thing, like Kyle Connor from Out of Spec. He noticed the same thing. I actually talked to him at the Tesla takeover, and he was saying, yeah, it's something's going on. So it's been, half a year since then. A bunch of software updates have happened since then. So let's see if it's been fixed, if it's been more accuratized. Is that a word? I don't think so. All right, let's take a look at our trip and see what we're in for. All right, we are heading up north from Santa Clarita, California, up to Manteca, California. The Great Wolf Lodge is our first stop. We're going to stay there overnight, do some water slides. It's supposed to be rainy and miserable up there, but guess what? It's inside, so it doesn't matter. So here we are in our 2019 Tesla Model 3. That's the car we've chosen instead of our Model Y for this trip. And it has us arriving at Kettleman City, one stop, Santa Clarita, up to Kettleman City, with 10% in reserve. So I'll write all these numbers down, and I'll also write down exactly what our numbers are before we leave. We're still charging up. I'm going to charge pretty high because it's supposed to be cold. I want to have a little extra in reserve. I want to, drive like a normal human being. I know the Tesla factors in, wind and weather and all kinds of things that it never used to, but now it does. One thing it doesn't factor in is I think it kind of goes by the speed limit. And if you want to drive like a normal person and not get run over, you're not going to be driving the speed limit. Wait, did I just say that part out loud? All right, so it has us stopping at Kettleman, our one and only stop, and staying there for 55 minutes. I don't think I'm going to do that. That seems pretty silly and mind-numbing. What I'm going to do is definitely Santa Clarita to Kettleman, but I'm only going to charge to maybe 50% or thereabouts, and then head up the road a little bit and maybe go to Firebaugh or maybe somewhere in here. There's a bunch of superchargers between Kettleman and Manteca, so why not use the lower part of the battery, which is faster to charge, rather than a mind-numbing 55-minute charge that is really not needed. It's called charger hopping, or riding the curve if you're new to the Tesla world. So we're going to head to Kettleman City. We should have enough in reserve by the time this charging session is over. Please note it's 61 degrees right now, but we're leaving in about an hour or so. So we're going to head to Kettleman, charger hop to maybe Firebaugh or somewhere else in here, and head on our way up to Manteca with a little bit in reserve because we're staying overnight at a hotel that does not have any charging. I will, of course, be taking notes. I've got my notepad ready with all the miles and percentage stuff. So let's do this. Let's see exactly what the numbers show on the nav as opposed to real world driving with, a family on board, all of our luggage and stuff, and driving, actual human speeds. So one of the things I wanted to check before we go is the energy tab. So let's take a look here. Does it show trip? Here we are. So there we go. Live projection. We'll probably take a look at this throughout the drive. Obviously, we haven't left yet, and we're not all the way up to 100% yet, and it's projecting 11.3% arrival. These numbers are not going to be accurate because I'm going to keep charging, but I'll write them down, and we'll do an update before we leave. Okay, here are our stats as we head out the door. We are at 98% state of charge, or 202 miles, and our estimate to Kettleman, one stop from Santa Clarita to Kettleman, is an 18% estimated arrival. And so we'll see how this goes. 65 degrees, in case you're wondering about that. So again, 202 miles, 98%. Let's go. And real quick, here is the energy app that is in there. We are looking at a mostly downhill, it looks like. Well, no, this is stepping down the battery, actually. So 18.8% live projection. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the trip and see how we end up at Kettleman. By the way, I forgot to mention that it's 142 miles. And so we have 202 miles. We'll see how that all goes. Alright, so we are going up a major incline. It's known as the Grapevine. Then we're going to be going down that. So we should be gaining more, but take a look at what we're seeing here. The original estimate rolling into Kettleman City was 18%. Now we're at 6%. We'll see how all this plays out, but I think I remember this last time. This car has made it to Kettleman on one with no stops before, so the only factor I can think of up ahead, maybe there's wind, or it's the temperature, which it's only 62. It shouldn't be too bad, and we've definitely warmed up the car charging it most of the morning. So I think we'll be all right, but just be aware that those percentages that you see at the start may not necessarily stay. Oh, it just flipped over to 7%. All right, we're gaining some now. Heading down the Grapevine grade, and we are gaining some percentage back. It's a pretty steep grade too. I think it was 8 to 10%. It just said, but I, didn't remember. So take a look. We've gained back up to 10%. Still not the 18% that was promised, but as we go downhill, you can see here, we're all on the brake lights. We are actually regenning. You can see lots of green here on the screen. So we should get a fair amount back. And then once we hit the flat part of the San Joaquin Valley, we'll really know where we're at, and we're going to see how the wind plays a factor. We did see a sign that did say high winds ahead, so that could be why we're seeing these weird numbers. Down at the bottom of the hill, we did gain some more percentage. We're down or up to 11%, still not the 18 as promised. There was some wind coming down, as they did say, but I don't think, looking over on the side of the road, I don't know if it's too windy right now. Speed is going to be your biggest factor if you are running into an issue where you don't think you're going to make it, your percentage keeps dwindling. Obviously, there's other factors with wind and temperature and grade of the road and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, if you slow down, it will definitely help you get to your destination. And so that's always something to look into if you are without a supercharger and you're just trying to lip to one. Okay, real quick update before we head into Kettleman City. We're definitely going to make it. Things seem to have leveled out. Take a look. So we've got 127 miles on the battery, or 61% at the current state of charge, and we're going to arrive at 12% at Kettleman with 77 miles to go, 126 miles left on the battery. Safe to say we're going to make it. This car has always made it to Kettleman, so it was kind of weird that it was dropping into the 3 and 4% and giving us a yellow notification saying keep your speeds under 75. I'm like, okay, whatever. We've done this like 1,000 times, but whatever. They were 46 miles out, and it finally started preconditioning right there. So 46 miles out from Kettleman City. We're at 57 degrees to give you an idea of the temperature, and we've been driving for a couple hours now, and we're just now seeing the preconditioning battery for fast charging. So there's the 18% that we were promised to arrive at Kettleman, and we are not yet there. We are in fact 19 miles away. Now obviously speed's going to play a factor in that, but I've never really gone like 5 over is about the fastest I've gone over the speed limit. About 3 over right now. So speed and wind, we'll take a look at the energy chart as we're rolling into Kettleman, but that's what we're looking at, 18%, and we're not there yet. We're rolling into Kettleman City, 8 miles on the battery, or 4%. 7 miles on the battery. We'll go over all the numbers as soon as we park into a stall, but man, it's not even close to predicted. Obviously, there's some factors involved and things that are going to happen to anybody, but let's see what the final numbers are once we park into Kettleman City with the lounge, because I want some coffee. All right, rolling into Kettleman City, 2 Teslas ahead of us and 3 behind us. It's pretty amazing. Let's see if we can get one of these 250 kilowatt stalls here on the back side of Kettleman. The red one knew what to do. Looks like there are plenty.
Are these the only 250s here? This row?
Yes, I believe so. Park it amongst these gray ones here. It's a tight fit here. So if you've never been to Kettleman, the 250s along this whole row here are fairly new. Well, they're not really fairly new, but
need way more pulling in.
More pulling in?
Yeah, I think Marcus
they're new in that the original installation was all 150s. All right, let's go over the numbers while Marcus plugs in. We arrived at 4% state of charge, or 8 miles on this 240 mile rated range, but around 200 miles real world range. And there you go with those stats. So promised, here's the official notes. We started with 202 on the battery and 98%. The estimate was 18% arrival. We, of course, ran 142 miles. So there you go, 142 miles of the 202. And we ran out of, you know, it wasn't 18%, let's put it that way. So we're gonna head inside. We gotta get the code. If you're not familiar with Kettleman City, you gotta tap on the nav and get the code from inside the app there. And we'll go inside, great amenities, and we'll catch you in a few. All right, so we're plugged in. We are ramping up. We're at 6% already. We just plugged in. 1 kilowatt already delivered. And you can see, here we go. Here we go. 122. 131. Are we going to see max speeds? This car is only capable of 170 kilowatts for those that are new to the channel and new to this particular model. 148, 49, come on, 170. You think we're going to do it? Oh, I'm hearing all kinds of noises. Sean's excited back there. 159, 10% or 10 kilowatts. Come on, come on. Few more. It's like watching paint dry, only a little more exciting. 165, 66, 68. Come on. Max speeds +1. Pretty sweet. I've seen that before. Actually, I think I've seen it all the way up to 175 at one point. All right, we're going to navigate to Great Wolf Lodge and see what is in store for us next, if we can make it all the way, or if we need to stop one more time. All right, so here we go, Great Wolf Lodge. Let's see what it thinks it can do.
Gustine.
So far it wants us to go Gustine, but that's staying here for 20 minutes, which is probably about right. And Gustine kind of makes sense, actually.
That's the one with no lights, though.
That's the one with no lights. All right, so we'll try to avoid that one if we have to.
No, we could do the other side, the one that was half open last time we went.
What about the big one that we haven't been to yet?
80 stall?
The one that was closed on the way down the last time we made this trip.
That's probably a way down, on the way down.
All right, all right. All right, we're gonna charge here at Kettleman and we'll reevaluate after we get some coffee. I know I said we were going to get coffee, but we are crazy ripping all of a sudden. 175 kilowatts. The max in this car is only supposed to be 170. So fans are just going nuts. We are really getting max speeds here, so definitely the preconditioning kicked in and worked. All right, so we are at 78% state of charge, 161. Let me go unplug. One last goodbye to Kettleman City, one of my favorite superchargers and one of the best in the country. So cool. Great amenities, lots of stalls. I'm going to try their coffee here in a second. But let's take a look at those final numbers before we go. 162, 79. We are headed to Santa Nella. We should arrive with 28% state of charge. All right, we're on our way out of Kettleman City. Goodbye, favorite supercharger of all time. It's just so cool. This is how they all should be. And this was built, I think I want to say 2017, and they still haven't really replicated this, which is weird. So say goodbye to all the Teslas. Now there's another giant supercharger installation right across the street from here as well. So if you're on a road trip, Kettleman City, I mean, this is it. This is where you supercharge.
This is really good coffee. There's better food options at the other one.
Well, that's good to know. I haven't tasted the coffee yet, so I'm hearing it's good before I even try it. And you're saying there's more food on the other side.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, they have this Bravo Farms thing.
Starbucks. If you don't want to try the Starbucks coffee.
There's Baja Fresh, Subway,
Taco Bell.
In-N-Out, I think, isn't there?
Definitely lots of food options on the other side here. But if you want the Tesla Supercharger lounge experience, which is top notch, then go to the older one, which is off to the left once you get off the freeway.
One in Santa Monica had a mini lounge.
That was tiny. Yeah, you're right.
But you couldn't sit in there. It was just...
Yeah, I think they had like 2 seats or something like that.
Really? Yeah.
All right, here we go. Getting on the 5 North, heading to Manteca eventually, but we're going to be going to Santa Nella, the supercharger, next.
Yep. I have yet to make it back to Hollister during non-COVID times, because it was totally COVID.
That was a great stop. An update from our previous stop at Kettleman City to our next stop at Santa Nella, California, which we've been to before. I remember it now. Take a look. We are chasing the same problem, and we're not really going very fast. So we're due to arrive at 11%. Our original estimate was 28%. So definitely need to factor in enough for reserve, a little, cushion when you're supercharging. Okay, preconditioning for battery fast charging has just kicked in with, what do we got there, 36 miles left to Santa Nella. Just wanted to give you a heads up on how soon it seems to be doing that under 53 degrees Fahrenheit conditions. We're at 35%, due to arrive at 11% state of charge, and the promised was 28%, so nowhere near it. And again, we're not doing like crazy speeding, ripping down the highway kind of speeds. Right now we're doing 2 over the speed limit. We've been stuck in traffic behind trucks, all kinds of stuff, so nothing too fast. The only other factor I can think of is wind.
But it's not that windy.
And it's not that windy, so yeah. It's, I don't want to say the nav is lying or off or whatever. There's got to be another factor in there. When we get to Santa Nella, I'll pull up the energy screen and see exactly what's going on. All right, rolling up on Santa Nella. We've been here before, and it's like an old mission or hotel, or I'm not sure. Yeah, it says hotel right there. And it's way in the back to the left if you are pulling up on this one. It kind of looks like there's nothing back here, but apparently there's a restaurant and a lounge as well. And the last time we were here, it said there were like, I don't know, 48 stalls or something like that, and only 8 were open because they were still building it out. So looking ahead right here, it looks like there's a lot open now. Usually you can tell if there are Tesla Superchargers under construction, you could tell if the stalls are on or not by the lit up Tesla on them. And last time we were here, most of them were not lit up. Like I said, there was about 8. And so I think we're gonna turn the corner here and you're gonna see, holy cow, look at all this. They've got pull-throughs right through here, which is great. There's 4 pull-throughs for trailers. And looks like everything is completely lit up. And I think there's Rivian ones over there. So that's kind of cool too. So I'm gonna pull in here. I think those are Rivians. Yes, Rivian chargers there as well. That's pretty cool. So these are V3 250s, so there's no sharing, so it does not matter where I park. However, there's like nobody here. So, all right, here we go. The stats, 23 miles is what we're looking at. That's what we arrived at. And the actual percentage is 11%, which the original was 28%. So that's what we're looking at in terms of having a little bit of a buffer there, I think is what we're talking about here. And for on this car, 11 miles or 11% is 23 miles. So let's get plugged in and see what our next destination is. 2A, which I believe is the one that I used last time I was here. There we go. Plugged in. Check this out. So this is pretty cool. Nella. Huge, massive install. And over there we've got some Rivians. That's pretty cool. 1, 2, 3, 4 Rivians. It looks like 2 are charging. That's pretty awesome. All right, let's get inside and see what is next. What do we got up next here? So we're gonna pull this down. We're gonna get to Great Wolf Lodge as our next stop. And our estimated charge time is 10 minutes. And we have already ramped up. Look at that. That's pretty awesome. Again, from earlier, Kettleman City, I told you that this car is only capable of maxing out at 170 kilowatts. And this is the second time now we are seeing beyond 170. We're at 173. So looks like a 10-minute estimate to get to Great Wolf Lodge from Nella. I dropped the family off at McDonald's. They are picking up dinner, so we're gonna charge and be on our way. So there's the name of it, the Hotel Mission de Oro. Just an amazing, amazing grounds. Kind of in the middle of nowhere along the 5. This hotel looks absolutely incredible. Fountains and restaurants, and it's right in the middle of literally nowhere. And then we've got Superchargers right through these arches. I think the lobby is right off to our left. Really nice bathrooms, nice amenities for Tesla users, drivers, and Rivian. That was nice to see that the Rivians have chargers here now as well. I saw a bunch of Rivians driving along the 5. You can see them right over there. Those are the green ones. You can see 2 Rivians charging right now. And then of course the Tesla Supercharger outnumbering them by a lot. But hey, you know, it's good to see that. Oh, I just got a whiff of the restaurant. That smelled good. So there's a red Model 3 charging. There's my gray Model 3 as well. And just a incredibly huge, massive install. Last time we were here, it was only this bank right here of Superchargers that was actually open. And the rest were still kind of being built out with all the cabinets and everything. And now, looks like there's some Rivian owners right there getting ready. Now we've got Rivian chargers, we've got Tesla chargers, we've got pull-through chargers, and in about a month or so, everyone's going to be able to use these with an adapter. And I believe Lectron is the company that's been commissioned to have the official one to allow other EVs to supercharge using the Tesla network. So very, very cool location. Let's get inside and see what we're looking at in terms of getting to our destination. Great Wolf Lodge in Manteca. Okay, it says we have enough to get to our destination. We'll say okay to that. But let's take a look. That's with 17%. Now, today has been quite unusual because the estimates have been wrong. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a buffer just so we can, we've got another hour drive ahead of us. Probably going to stay for another 5 minutes or so just so we have enough to get to Great Wolf Lodge and have enough as well to get to another supercharger nearby. I know there's one in Manteca. I know there's one in Tracy. So those two, between those two, we'll be able to charge again and get to our next destination after Manteca, after Great Wolf Lodge. We're heading to Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, and that's in Vallejo, California, and there's superchargers there as well. All right, we've got enough to head on out to Great Wolf Lodge, so let's unplug and write down some numbers and take off. There we go. Put it back in the spot. Door closes. And let's take a look at our numbers. We are at 138 miles on the battery, just flipped over to 139. And 67%. So let's write those things down. The estimate, by the way, to get to Great Wolf Lodge, 32%, and that is 57 miles. Writing things down here. And again, we're starting at 67%, 139 miles. Let's head on out. Goodbye, Santa Nella. Huge, huge supercharger location. What is it, 48 stall? Yep, 48 stalls. 46 available. Only a couple of us were charging, and I just left. So there you go. Huge, huge installation. Very, very cool. We were here for like, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes. That's how long these supercharger sessions last, as long as you don't charge full. If you're new to Teslas or new to EVs, you don't need to fully charge these things like a gas car. You know, you don't go fill her up. You basically charge your hop, and you ride the curve of the battery. The lower portion of the battery is always going to be the fastest charging, from say 10% to 80%. I'd even go 70%. So there you go. A little tip for you when you're road tripping your Tesla or your electric vehicles using the Tesla Supercharger network soon. You don't need to charge the full. Oh, there's a couple more Rivian chargers over here for pull through, which is very cool. Way off by themselves. So Rivian definitely doing their thing as well. Very, very cool. Here we are, Great Wolf Lodge. There is the logo right ahead. We have arrived at our destination. We'll go over some numbers and then we're going to check in. I wonder if there's as many Teslas as there were the last time we were here. It was crazy. It was almost like a Tesla.
Now your destination is on the right.
Dealership. So we'll pull in over here. We're not supposed to. Oh, maybe we'll go over here.
Don't hit this guy. Nope, lots of people are checking in.
They were like just here.
All right, so 58 miles is what we arrived at, or 28%, which is the closest of the day, by the way. The estimate was 32%, and we are at 28%. So pretty weird that the last leg of the trip, where I really wasn't adhering to the speed limit, I mean, I was about 5 or so over for the most part, that I think it was less wind, why we were only 3% off the pace. All right, so there you go, a little in the dark footage here. We just got to Great Wolf Lodge. You saw the stats. The third leg was the best in terms of what the navigation was telling us. It was only 3% off the estimate, and we arrived, 3% to the good. So, I mean, we were fine. We were at, what are we at here? 32, and we arrived at 29. That's acceptable. I'll take that. The first two legs got a little dicey there at times. We did have to slow down at points just to make sure we had some percentage in reserve, but ultimately we made it to our destination. No problem, not an issue. Just the word of advice from this video is, of course, add a buffer. Make sure you charge a little bit extra just so you have some comfort level to make it to your next supercharger stop. Hey, thank you so much for watching another edition of Tesla Tips and Trips. We're just trying to do all kinds of different things here on the channel, and I totally appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like this video. It truly means the world to us that you guys are watching and stuff like that. And don't forget to subscribe as well to the channel, as well as hit that bell. Anytime we have something new, boom, bell means you've got it right there. Thanks so much, and we'll catch you on the next video.